Hello you guys and welcome to my channel. I'm so excited to have you here. So recently, if you guys follow along on the vlog channel or follow me on Instagram or anything like that, I recently went on my first trip since 2019 and I actually met up with two friends of mine who are YouTube creators and content creators, and that trip along with conversations that I had with these two individuals actually inspired me to make this video. So today I wanted to dive into what actually happens behind the scenes at Beachbody's yearly summit or yearly summer convention that they call Summit. Now, at the end, I'm actually going to kind of compare the trip I just went on and the Summit trip to kind of show you guys the difference in, I feel like, what a trip should look like for people who are on the internet or like content creators or things like that versus what an MLM trip is like. Because we see time and time again, MLMers try and compare themselves to content creators and, oh, they're doing affiliate marketing or they're doing influencer marketing and all of these things. So at the end, I will compare the two trips, but we're really going to go through everything today on Beachbody Summit. The first thing I want to know from you guys though is, if you were in Beachbody, did you go to any of the summits? I'd be really curious. I personally went to the summit in 2019 in Indianapolis. So if you don't know about Beachbody Summit, I will be telling you everything about it today. So I feel like this summer is the time where all of these summits are going on and happening. So I really thought that this would be the best time to kind of talk about it. So to reiterate, Summit is Beachbody's yearly summer convention, but let's hear from Beachbody what Summit is. So Beachbody actually states that Summit is a 3-day event jam-packed with all things Beachbody. It looks like a summer camp for kids. You can meet up with old friends and make new ones while learning about the Beachbody community. You'll experience firsthand what the power of community can do, inspire, and motivate you to help make a difference in the lives of others. Participate in live workouts with super trainers like Autumn Calabrese, Shaun T, and Elise Joan. Attend training workshops led by top Beachbody coaches. Be the first to hear about new Beachbody product launches and announcements. Sample special Shakeology recipes and combinations at the Shakeology bar, which you have to pay for. Anyways, attend keynote speeches from well-known personal development experts. And in addition, there are awards and recognition for Team Beachbody coaches, and the winner of Beachbody's challenge are revealed. So that's what Beachbody on the website states that this event is. Now, in order to get to this event, you would think that a convention for a company would be free to the people who work in the company, because for a normal job, if your job is making you go to a training or they are having a trip, right, the actual job itself, the company, corporate, whatever, that trip is normally paid for. This is not. And normally, if you actually look at content creators, if they go on a trip with a brand, the brand will pay for pretty much everything, your hotel, your flights, everything to get you there. And most likely the activities that you're doing on that trip will actually be paid for activities along with any work that you may have to do on that trip. So that just goes to show that Beachbody or any MLMs conventions aren't normal things that would happen in normal jobs, or even maybe what an influencer or content creator may do on social media. But with that being said, you may want to know, how much are these summit tickets? So depending on the time of the year, the summit tickets change prices. So for example, summit tickets are on sale right now for 2022 and they are about $145. Now, if you wait up until summit, like say you make a decision the month before summit happens and you make the decision that you want to go, it will cost you about $300 to $350 at that point in time. But normally they keep hiring the prices as the months go on. So the earlier you buy your ticket, the cheaper you get it at, which I think actually encourages more people to sign up, because they're like, oh, I don't want to not get it right now, right? Like, oh, I want to make sure that I get my ticket and everything like that before it gets more expensive, because that's totally what I did. I ended up like getting the ticket for one of the summits that I ended up having to cancel because, I quit Beachbody. So I ended up buying my ticket a year early. When I actually went to this summit in 2019, I bought my 2020 ticket. But clearly I ended up leaving Beachbody before summit, or any of that even happened, way before that even happened. So I did end up having to lose out on that money. So now I think it's really important to explain how summit is advertised to the downlines. So pretty much what Beachbody said on their website is pretty different to what uplines and stuff may say to their downlines when they are promoting Summit, because for me, I remember my uplines and everything really promoting Summit as a way to change your business. Oh, if you go, your business is going to change. You're going to be able to involve yourself with this community. It was very, very community based and very life changing. It's like the words they would use. So when I heard that, I was like, oh my God, it's going to be life changing. Like I need to go. I need to make sure that I, get the opportunity to go, and I need to spread this to other people so that they know, oh my God, these people are saying that it's going to be life changing and we get to meet, and how awesome would that be? Now, I do think it's really cool to meet people that you've met online. For example, like I just met Cece Suarez and things like that. I've had already met Isabella, but for the two of them, I met them on social media and I got to meet them in person. And that's amazing. That's great to meet people in person that you've met online. But with MLMs, it gets a little bit tricky. If they keep promoting that Summit is all about the community and, oh, we get to meet you, and they make it this special thing, clearly your downline and stuff wants to go. When you're in the MLM, they are promoting it constantly. They're doing live streams, they're posting in the team pages and things like that to really express how Summit is going to change your life. So it's looked at as this place and this convention that is going to be amazing because you'll be able to involve yourself with the community while growing your business and networking and learning new things. So that's way different than what actually ends up happening at these things. So what happens when you arrive to the Beachbody Summit? I want to go over that before I actually show you guys something that's really cool in a second. So when you actually arrive to Summit, I have the video clips because they were actually archived on my Instagram. And here, when you arrive to Summit, okay, you will actually get off the plane, and I took this video myself. When you get off your plane and you arrive into the airport, there's going to be this huge welcome sign, and there's not just one, it's like all throughout the airport. There are these welcome signs saying like, welcome coaches, and then the quote, you belong here, because in 2019 in Indianapolis, that's what essentially Beachbody called their convention that year, is you belong here. So you'll see all of these signs essentially when you are walking in, and that probably makes it feel very legitimate. When you're in the MLM, if you're having doubts and you see all of these things happening in the airport and stuff like that, you're going to be like, oh my God, this is so legitimate. And it's going to make people feel as if, oh God, this is real, like this MLM is real, and kind of breathe belief into them. That's how I feel about that. So I thought that was interesting when I found that clip. I didn't even remember that happened. But yes, when you arrive, you are like greeted. You have signs everywhere. You see it talked about. You think it's so freaking cool. It legitimizes things for you. Now let's go by the day by day, exactly what you did at Summit. Now, Beachbody actually has an app for this still that shows you your itinerary for every single day. And guess who already got access to it? Yes, me. So I found the app again because I had remembered that this was an app. It's called the TBB event. I'm guessing you can find anything that happens, like any event that Beachbody does, which I'm not sure if they're doing events because of COVID, but in general, when Beachbody has events, you can actually use this app to get the itinerary for that event. Now that I'm on the outside, it's kind of cool that I can end up finding like, oh, this trip that these people are going on, what's their itinerary? And I could find out what they're doing, if people are lying, what's being talked about, kind of those kind of things. So when you go into the app, it looks like this. It has a bunch of stuff. It has the activity feed, the schedule, the maps of where to go, airport transportation, the core, which we'll talk about in a minute. I actually think this is a really good idea for something that's going to have like 20,000 or more people. I think that this is really cool that everything's in one spot for people. So we're going to go to the schedule, but remember in the back of your mind that clearly this is being promoted as this community thing. Oh, you're going to be able to like network with people and meet people and have a blast. And that's how it's being promoted on social media. It's being promoted on social media, if you've seen anyone talk about these summits, as like this amazing thing. And people are with friends and they're taking photos together and laughing photos together and cute videos and all of these things. So it is promoted as if you're spending a lot of time with others and you're having a blast and you're going out to eat and you're like doing all of these extravagant things, like an actual trip that normal people would go on for vacations. But let me tell you, we're about to look at the schedule. It is way more than that. It is 98% of the time work versus 2% playtime. And keep in mind, nobody is being paid or compensated to go to this event unless it's a special speaker or something like that. Nobody's being paid. Like these MLM reps go here and they still pay Beachbody to attend the conference, to do all of these things. They are paying versus being paid. Again, for a normal company, if you were going somewhere, you're normally still going to get paid for that, or everything's going to be all inclusive. Whether you are getting everything all inclusive as in the hotel, the airfare, the food, this and that, or sometimes people still get paid to be on the trip, aka like your hourly wage or whatever. So remember that nobody's being paid to be here. The way people are going to make money from this trip is by recruiting people, because when they can give that FOMO on social media and they can show all these great things in the community and all the fun things on this trip versus showing all the work that's being done, they're going to recruit more people because more people are going to believe them after a trip like this. So they actually end up getting compensated by how many people they can recruit when they leave these trips. Now let's look at the actual schedule. So when you click on the schedule on Wednesday, that was a day that the elite people could get there. So essentially the people who are in the top 0.1% the MLM, I know my upline was in that portion of the MLM and stuff like that. Like she was in the top 0.1%. So she got to fly in a day early and get this whole reception and shopping experience and all of these like things that the high up people get, their special treatment. So I flew in on Thursday. So when I arrived, you actually have to do check-in. So you have to go and you have to check in. You have to get all of your little badges. I will actually show a photo here because guess what? I took a photo of it. So here you could see that it had my name. It said I was a Diamond Coach. It said I was a Success Club All-Star or 5 All-Star and a Success Starter. So essentially you would get your name tag and you would get every like achievement you had accomplished up to there. And then you would wear that the entire time that you were at Summit. So I went and I checked in, and then they have these Shakeology bars that open, which you have to pay for. They essentially just make Shakeology for you. And then the core opens. So at 8 a.m., the core opens. The core is actually where Beachbody just makes more money off of you. They sell all of their products and they sell a bunch of clothing. So Beachbody does make clothing for like their products and stuff like that. So at the event, for the whole entire like weekend that you're there, you will have access to going to the core and you can end up paying for like clothing and stuff like that. Then if we scroll down, keep in mind that these are days where people are flying in, depending on how long your flight is and stuff like that. So at 2 p.m., there was a How Couples Work the Coaching Business session. So if you and your spouse wanted to get there early, you could get there and then you could have a session from 2 to 3 p.m. teaching you guys how to work the business together. And then from 3:30 to 4:30, there was a session on how men work the coaching business. Then Autumn Calabrese gave a book signing for Fixate. And then here we go, we have workouts. So everyone had to sign up for a workout depending on what day and time you wanted it at. So here we have a couple different workouts, and then you have their opening general session. So opening session is clearly at night because again, people are flying in that day. The opening general session happens from 7:45 to 10:30 at night. So essentially what you do is you arrive, you sign in, you find everything, you get to your hotel, you do that. So you really don't have time to like hang out. Then you can stop by the core if you get time to like buy shit. And then you have to essentially go, you have to shower, you have to eat, you have to get ready for this opening session. So that day I didn't find that I had like all of this time. Now, clearly I had time to like get to my hotel and stuff because I got there early because where I was flying in from was closer than most people flying from like across the freaking country or from different countries. So then all night you are at this like general session. So you have to get dressed up all cute and stuff. You walk in and it's this huge stadium and you essentially learn from 7:45 to 10:30 at night. I don't know about me or about you, but I'm not trying to learn at 10:30 at night. Like I'm just being honest here. So you go through the whole session, you're there, nothing stops, you don't get a break, nothing happens but you sitting in a chair with your friends next to you, right? Which I am still friends with some of them. Some of them I'm not, some of them I am. But you literally just sit there and are taught the whole time about whatever topics they want to talk about, whether it's how to grow the business or whatever it may be. They're just talking about like different topics. Then at 10:30, the stadium closes and general session is over. So we were all starving. So at 11 o'clock at night, we had to like walk to a place to find food. So we ate, and that's the only time we had to catch up because the schedule on the next following freaking day on Friday, you have workouts starting at 6 a.m. So let's think about this. They want you to train with them until 10:30 at night. At 10:30 at night, now you're freaking starving because you need to eat dinner. Then you go and you eat dinner, and then you can choose one of two things. You can stay up all night trying to catch up with people because you have no time during the day to do that, or you can get some rest so that you can actually, be awake and feel good the following day to get these early ass workouts in. So the following day, their workout started at 6 o'clock going all all the way until 8:45. So after 8:45, the general session that next morning starts at 9:30 to 12:30. So you have to like hurry up in the morning. You have to get up after a long night of being trained on whatever bullshit they trained you on. And then you get up, you eat, you shower, and then you go to the session at 9:30 in the morning. Now I will say there's 20,000 people. If you want a good seat and you want to sit with the people that are on your team or on the team in general, you have to get there like so early. Me and my friend Christina were the two people to get there like really early, and we just like saved the seats for everybody. So we would have to leave at like earlier, maybe a little bit before 9 so that we could get there on time. So then at 12 o'clock, box lunches are now distributed. So if you bought a box lunch, because they didn't give it to you, if you bought a box lunch, you could get that. So then at 2 o'clock, the training started again. So from 12:30 to 2 o'clock, you had to rush to get food while 20 other thousand people are trying to get food downtown in Indianapolis. You had to try and like catch up with people while you're like scarfing your food down. And then you had to hurry up and get back early because again, you want to get to these sessions early so you can get a good seat with the people you're trying to sit with. So at 2 o'clock, there were different sessions that you could be in. Or there was the Coach Business Accelerator, Leadership 1 track, and Leadership 2. They all started at 2 o'clock. Depending on your rank in the MLM, you got to go to a different room essentially to be taught different things. So clearly the Coach Business Accelerator was going to have people who were like Emerald and below. Your Coach and Emerald ranks, your new people, and then Diamond and above would go to, or Diamond ranks would go to that Leadership 1 track, and then your really high up people in the MLM would go to Leadership 2. So you guys are learning different things or whatever. I'm actually going to show you guys some trainings I learned in a little bit when we're done going over this schedule. So this goes on until 5:15. So at this point, Deanna's starving. So now you have this like Beachbody classic thing, which I didn't go to. It's like a meet for like fitness or bodybuilding. And then from 5 o'clock or 5:15, right? I told you guys that leadership track ended. I was a diamond rank, so I actually had to rush eat because I had an hour and a half until I had to get to this diamond party. So that night after all of that happened, we actually ended up going out to eat. So that was like the first time we could really like sit down and hang out, because again, when you're at these trainings, all you're doing is learning bullshit. I'm telling you that now, in my opinion, it's bullshit. You don't learn anything of substance. In the moment when you're in the MLM, you think you're learning something. You think, oh my God, I'm learning something so special, because you think that all of these things are special. Oh, I get to learn from this high up coach. I get to learn from this person. Oh my God, they're going to give me so much that I can go back and do. And while yes, they do give you so much that you can go back and do, it's nothing of substance. It's like, hey, go and make group chats for all of your people. So that's what you're learning. In my opinion, you're not learning anything that's a true substance. And I feel like now that I'm out of the MLM and have been for years, I can look back and be like, what the heck was I learning that I thought was just, oh my God, this is so great. This is so good. I'm learning so much, because it's really not. But again, when you're in that moment and you're so into Beachbody, you're so into that MLM, no matter what convention you go to, you truly think that what they're teaching you is going to like change everything for you. And you're going to go back and you're going to do everything that you were taught at all of these general sessions, and you're just going to crush it. And unfortunately, 99, 98, 97% of people don't do that. They go back and they're going to try all these things, and 90% of them, 99.6% of them aren't even gonna make a profit. So it's crappy looking at it and everyone getting so excited and feeling like they learned something, and then when they go home, they're still going to lose money. So actually, in a minute, I'm going to tell you guys all of the money that I spent that month on the convention and shit like that. So be on the lookout for that. Now, let's keep going. I went on a tangent there. I apologize. I don't have many notes today, so I'm glad I'm just walking you guys through everything. But we essentially went out to like a cute little dinner or whatever, and then came back and we all like hung out in the hotel room until people got exhausted. So now let's move on to Saturday. This is the final day before departures on Sunday. Oh, this one is the super workouts. So, if you have never heard of a super workout, you're about to. A super workout for Beachbody is where they shut down downtown Indianapolis and everybody works out on the streets. They have a bunch of TVs everywhere so everyone could work out. You end up working out for an hour and a half. I believe every single super trainer for Beachbody gets like 10 to 15 minutes to work out with you, and then they keep like swapping off stage. So at this super workout, let me just show you guys what it looked like. So this is what it looked like. Streets and streets full. And let's actually listen to what they have people chanting while they're working out.
Beachbody!
If you guys could hear them, they were like squatting and screaming, Beachbody! Because yeah, let's chant Beachbody while getting workouts in. So essentially everyone got up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. Everyone met up. And then at 6 a.m., you go to Monument Circle and you get your super workout in. It lasts from 6:30 to 7:30. Now, after this happens, clearly there's like thousands of people on the street. So you all end up rushing like back to the hotel room. And depending on how many people were in a hotel room, you all had to like take turns showering. And then again, you had to be at your next general session at 9:30 in the morning. So here you learn more stuff that, looking back, was not tangible. It was nothing of substance, because what could be of substance in a multi-level marketing company, in my opinion? Essentially, I was the first one in the shower, so I rushed like to get ready, and then I went with my friend Christina again to the general session early and got like seats for everybody. This day was actually, I believe was it Friday? One of these days I had like the worst migraine in the world because it was just too much. Like, it was too much trying to do things. Like, you wake up so early, you're going to bed so late because you're trying to find that time where you can actually like hang out with people besides trying to hang out in the middle of these sessions while you're eating food, and you don't really get to sit down and just like get to know each other, right? So that's why I ended up like, I believe it was on that Friday morning while everyone went to work out with like one of the super trainers, I didn't, because I just couldn't do it. Like, I was feeling like I got hit by a bus with my migraine. I was like, I cannot get up. Like, I cannot do this. Nobody touched me. Nobody talked to me, because it was just too much, right? Anyone with migraines, y'all know. So now you go to your general session from 9:30 to 1 p.m. 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, your box lunch will be distributed. So from 1 to 3 is your time off. So I believe here, this day we went to Hooters or something. I'm trying to remember. I think we went to Hooters to eat. So we go to Hooters, we eat and do all of that stuff. So we do have this day a little bit longer. I would say about an hour with each other, because you're walking everywhere downtown. So we were walking from like convention to find food, then sitting down, then eating. Then from that, we'd all have to separate to again go to these next sessions. So from 3 o'clock to 5, you had your like coach sessions again where everyone's separated. So from 3 to 5, you had that session. So after that, we essentially all met up. We all got dinner like pretty quickly. So from 5 to 8:30 was your time to go back to shower, to get ready, to eat, do everything that you needed to do, so that at 8:30 you could be at the place again, the stadium, to do a celebration that night. So from 8:30 to 10:30 you have your celebration at the Lucas Oil Stadium. And then that night, I do believe we all like hung out in the hotel room. We got like all of these cakes. I think we all ended up getting like a bunch of cake and all of that, like room service. And that was the night that I do remember was like one of the better nights, because we had a little bit more time to like hang out with each other. And again, looking back, I now see like how messed up these trainings were that you were taught, how messed up this like community aspect is in the MLM. That was not the best trip. Now, yes, did I get to see a lot of people that like I would talk to virtually, and that was super cool? Yes, like I will admit that. I think it's really cool to meet someone that you may have met online, like in person, no matter who it is. So that aspect was cool. Do I wish we had more time to like hang out? Yeah. Do I wish we had more time to relax? Yes. That's why I'm saying, when people are talking about these trips being like this whole community thing and it's so great, it's going to change your business, it's like the things they were teaching you, in my opinion, were not tangible to change someone's MLM business when it's not a business, but beside the point. Even the community thing, it's like we only got very minimal time to like get to know each other. So when I left the convention, I felt like, oh yeah, I'm going to come back and I'm going to crush it and I'm going to do everything and I'm going to rank advance and I'm going to succeed and I'm going to help people do it too and I'm going to hit my fitness goals and like all of this stuff. And it's like, why did I feel that way? Yeah, because you're brainwashed. That's why. But yeah, I look back and I'm like, there's literally nothing about this trip that was very like sustainable or anything like that. But in the moment you think it is, in the moment you think it's like this awesome and cool trip that you were able to go on. So I want to keep that in mind. Now I wanted to look over some of these trainings before I tell you how much I ended up spending. So while at these sessions, I took some photos. So one photo, I still have these in my camera roll, said, am I a CEO or an employee. A CEO is thinking about their team, and employees thinking about themselves. So at this convention, it was a lot of team-based things, like very team-focused. A lot of the trainings were about your team, right? Some of the stuff was about like, oh, your fitness journey, whatever. But a lot of them were like this, where it was like a CEO is thinking about their team. Then the next slide says, what are your core values? The core beliefs that are most important to you, the driving force behind your thoughts, feelings, words, and actions, the baseline, the center point, the anchor, the touchstone for your life, your highest priorities at the deepest level, your personal code for what really matters in life, the principles that bring a deep sense of meaning and purpose to your life. So here they're trying to kind of like, in my opinion, reframe how you're thinking. Like, okay, what are my core values? You're at this convention, you're thinking, oh, I want to change my life. I want to like bring my family home. Like all of these weird things that people end up saying in the MLM is like what's going through your mind when they're going over like, what are your core values as a human being? Like you end up reframing your whole mindset in these scenarios. And then the next slide says, re-understand purpose. You need a new belief. Purpose is not the thing you do. It's the thing that happens in others when you do what you do. Okay. It's the thing that happens in others when you do what you do. So they essentially want you to get a new belief system. Very weird to me. Then they're talking about the maverick mode of operation, and it says prioritize purpose on purpose. That's actually a cool quote. Prioritize purpose on purpose. The next thing says posting tips. You're the main subject. Then it goes have some kids, some pets, but mostly you. Have an opinion, evoke conversations, ask questions, own your truth, let people into your world and personality, add value. Next they say share your struggles, but spin it to win it. Okay, so why do people have to share their struggles to spin it to win it? In a video actually on Cece's channel, the collab we did, we talked about the whole sometimes you don't need to share all your struggles on social media, right? And those struggles shouldn't be used for like profit. They shouldn't be used in a way to recruit people. And a lot of the times what we're going to see with people who leave MLMs, a lot of the times is what you do see and what I see a lot is people who do share their struggles and they share the things they're going through, their traumas and stuff like that. When they leave their MLM, they feel guilty. They feel embarrassed. They go back to hurry up and delete those posts and be like, why the freak did I post this? Because in the moment, you are being told time and time again that you need to. So yeah, that really frustrates me because I don't like seeing people's struggles, their traumas, their mental health stuff being used to recruit people, because I feel like sometimes those people aren't ready and they're going to realize in a year from now and 2 years from now, or whenever they get out of the MLM, guilt. That's what they're going to feel. They're going to feel guilty, embarrassed, down on themselves that they would share those things when they maybe weren't ready or maybe didn't even want to share those things. Because again, not everything in your life that you struggle with has to be shared if you don't want it to be. Next, we have a money slide. It says making all the money through duplication. So there's like two spots. It says do this in order to make like $150 a week, or do this to make $2,000 a week. So when you're making the $150 a week, it comes out to $7,200 a year. And then when you're making $2,000 a week, you can actually near $100 figures. You can near $100,000, 6 figures. So with the $150 a week, they said every week you should add 1 new coach and 2 new challengers every month for 12 months to earn that money. Now, if you want to make $2,000 a week, they're teaching you need 5 new coaches. So 5 new reps, 5 new clients or challengers, and then 5 of your reps need to sell over $150 a month minimum for 12 months. That's what that means broken down. Because again, it says 5 new coaches, 5 new challengers, and 5 personally sponsored coaches in Success Club. Success Club is essentially where you sell something to someone new. So you could sell and recruit someone like a new rep, and that will get you your Success Club points. And then you'll get Success Club points for signing up a client. So it wants you to essentially sell and make about $150 a month. And they are saying that because they know that by adding new recruits and your recruits recruiting, your recruits selling products, your recruits buying products, you are going to make more money that way. And that's exactly how and why the numbers come out this way, is because the people in your downline are kind of like doubling down on what you're doing. If you're recruiting 5 people and then your downline, each person is recruiting 3 people, you know how many people that ends up being at the end of the month if everybody's doing that every single week? So that's why I'm saying like they know what's making them money and they know exactly what to teach people and train people on for them to recruit people and have their recruits to do the same thing, if that makes sense. So now we have what's called the Promised Land, and it is a a slide, and at the bottom of it, it says income disclaimer, and it does give a Beachbody income disclaimer, but it shows, if you zoom in, a graph. Now, the graph is talking money-wise, someone's income coming in. It just doesn't show the exact number that the person's making. But if we zoom in, the person, when they're at the lowest, they are a diamond coach, right? A diamond coach means that you have recruits. You cannot rank advance in Beachbody without recruiting people and without your recruits recruiting people. So keep that in mind. This all being taught money, when they are training about money, they are talking about recruiting people. So when you're a diamond coach, it shows that you're not making diddly squat. Then when you hit 1-star diamond, you're making like a drop more, but still diddly squat compared to like the higher ranks. Then it shows once you hit 2-star, and then once you open up your second business center, because you can actually do that when you hit 2-star, now you've entered what they call the promised land. You have a bunch of recruits under you, and now you qualify for bonuses because you've recruited so many people and your recruits have recruited so many people. This is what they're teaching. They are teaching in these trainings that if you recruit, this is how you're going to enter what they like to call the promised land to make more money. So those were the like screenshots I wanted to show you. I feel like I did have other screenshots, but they weren't of like importance, or I feel like they wouldn't make sense without like the full training and me being able to show you everything. But as you can see, this is what they're teaching in these trainings. These are the things that these slides are saying. I don't have like actual clips of what the reps have said unless Beachbody has shared that, and I can go back and find them. But again, those are the things that's being taught. The whole new belief system, sharing your struggles so you can spin it to win it. The money slides that are showing in order to enter the promised land, you have to recruit people. Now I want to talk about all of the money I spent. I want to talk about all of the money I spent that month that I didn't notice until I sat down after I left my MLM. I actually have done 2 videos on it if you guys want to check it out. I did a part 1 and a part 2. Those 2 videos, I go over how much I lost in Beachbody, and spoiler alert, it's over $5,000. Now, when I looked over my bank statements, I did this today. I looked over my bank statements and everything I spent that month from Beachbody. So that month for Beachbody, you still had to be active, right? In order to be active with Beachbody, you have to spend $50 or more, but in order to qualify for Success Club, you have to spend $90 or more, which isn't talked about that much. So that month I spent $94 on pre and post workout, and I bought another product for $17. Then that month I also paid for advertisements because yes, years ago when I was in my MLM, I was taught like by the uplines, because all of the big uplines would do it. They would pay for ads, and that's how they would get a lot of people to reach out to them versus them reaching out to people, right? When you do ads, people are coming to you versus you having to go physically to them, and instead of you having to go like cold message them. Hopefully that makes sense. But I spent $355 on ads that month. I did an ad for $250 and an ad for $105. So the total I spent that month to stay active, like on products and advertisements to get people to reach out to me, I spent $466.93. This is why I lost over $5,000. Now, price of the trip. I have my hotel expenses, my hotel extras, like food I may have bought at the hotel, my flight, other food and things I may have bought at the place, coffee, all of that. So for the hotel, we stayed at JW Marriott. It was $950, but it was split 3 different ways, so I didn't spend the whole $950. And then I had to spend $134 at the JW, I believe, for a parked car or something like that. I think one of the people that stayed in the hotel or in my room had a car that they brought, so we had to spend a little bit of extra money on that. And then hotel extras for food, I spent $20 and $32.70. Now for my flight, where was I? In 2019, I think it was in Seattle. I think I was in Washington at that point. So I had to fly out from the Seattle airport all the way to Indianapolis. My flight was $334 with $25 for me to get early bird because I really like early bird, so I can board early on the flight, and then $8 for Wi-Fi on the plane. Then all of my food and other expenses were $10 at Starbucks, $21 to get food, $43 to get food somewhere else, $44 to get food somewhere else, $13 for the Hooters, and then Burger Study was like a location there, was $18, and then another Starbucks trip was $12. So the total price for the trip was a little over $1,030. Now the total monthly of what I spent that month, the total for how to stay active that month, and then for my ads on top of this freaking trip, costed me a total of $1,496.93. Now, I could totally be missing some things. Clearly, I went through my bank statements and tried to find everything, but there may have been, me Venmoing someone for something if, they paid for it with their card, whatever. This this is just what I had on my one bank statement. Now, this is a ton of money, especially, let's look at it, Beachbody, income disclosure. So I'm going back and I'm actually looking at the 2019 to 2020 income disclosure statement for Beachbody to see how much people made around that time, because again, this is a lot of money when most people in this MLM, based on their income disclosure statement, are not making anything. So this money is coming out of your pocket. So let's look at this. In 2019, 76% of coaches were in the coach rank, making an average earnings of $439 a year. So yeah, that money was coming out of pocket. Emerald coaches consisted of 19% of people. So we're already at 95% of people, but 19% of people in the Emerald rank made $3,142. So yeah, you already spent over $1,500 of that. And then I'm not even going to look at the other ranks because Ruby has 0.8% of coaches, Diamond has 2.5. So that just goes to show that the cost of these trips are coming out of your pocket versus coming from the MLM or the company themselves. Like I've said before, if you worked for an actual company and they were sending you to an event or they were sending you on like a trip, which a lot of companies do, you're not going to spend money out of pocket and you're probably even going to get paid while you're at the location. Now, if you're going on a trip as a content creator, you again are most likely getting some stuff paid for. My thoughts on the trip all in all, these are my notes. I really do feel like it's a way to reel people in, aka the distributors. I feel like this is a way to keep your distributors in, because I will say after I went to Summit was really in my mind what legitimized Beachbody for me. I thought like, yeah, I'm gonna crush it. I'm gonna go back. I got all these trainings. I got everything done. I'm going to crush life. And that's what you think when you leave something like this most of the time. Some people leave these conventions and actually like cancel their accounts and stuff, because I know someone who did do that, but I was one of those people who this convention reeled me in even more. And most importantly, this trip, looking back on it, truly showed me that you cannot even get an hour, 2 hours off your phone. You don't have any time to get off of your phone because you're still doing what? You're posting, you're answering your emails, you're answering your DMs, because if someone messages you on this trip and they want to sign up for Beachbody, you're not going to wait to check your DMs. You're going to check your DMs that freaking day. You're going to check your DMs that moment to hopefully get that person to sign up, right? So you never have that time off. You never have time where you can leave your phone in your room or leave it in your bag and not have to worry about it, or just take some photos and then put your phone away. You know, it's constantly being on your phone. So yes, while these conventions are going on, you're gonna see cute photos. You're gonna see curated posts and things like that make it look like this is some amazing thing. But let me tell you, in the moment, yes, some people who are posting that may think it's amazing. They may think it's great. They may think it's the best thing in the whole entire world. But in the end, when you look back on that, like myself, it's really not. That's just my opinion again, though. This is just my experience. So now, when I started thinking about this video, I really wanted to compare it to the trip that I just went on. So I just went on a trip, you guys know, with 2 other content creators. I started to really recognize when comparing these 2 trips, how much the MLM trip like isn't really a trip. It's more so like, hey, you're gonna pay to go to this trip so that you can work and be brainwashed even more and have your beliefs change and like all of these weird things, even though it's promoted by uplines and stuff that these trips are like all about community and having fun and like all of that, right? Real trips don't involve being encompassed by your cellular device at all hours of the day. That's not what a real trip is. If you go on a trip, you should be able to put your phone down. Yeah, you may get a cute photo, because who doesn't get cute photos when they look good and feel good? Let me just ask that, because when I look good and feel good, I'd be like, oh yes, and I take photos of myself because I look good and feel good. Who doesn't do that? But you shouldn't have to feel that 24/7 you need to be on your phone and you have to respond to people and you can't take a break and you can't do anything else but be on your freaking phone. So on the trip I went on, I actually flew in on Thursday a little bit. Like I got there a little bit in the afternoon/evening, and then I left on Sunday. So I had like a full 2 days, Friday and Saturday. And I will say that whole trip I did vlog it. But as you could see if you watched the vlog I uploaded last week, is that it was only a 16-minute vlog. I didn't vlog every single thing. I didn't vlog every single conversation. I didn't have to pick up my phone every hour of the day. So the first day that we got there, we did film a collab video for Cece's channel. Then the rest of the time our phones were down. We were like catching up on life. We were able to like actually get to know each other as friends, like not just people who know each other on social media. And then that following day, We took, I would say, like 5 minutes to take some photos down at the beach. Then the rest of the time we spent like 5 hours at the pool. We spent hours at the beach. We took strolls on the beach. We had a blast. You can literally go and watch the video where I just took a couple second clips doing what we were doing. But apart from like videoing a couple clips and taking some photos that took 5 to 10 minutes of our day, we were just having fun. We were having a trip that should be a place to have fun. Now, did we talk sometimes? Like sometimes our conversations would lead to talking about YouTube or talking about our content and things we want to do in the future and our life aspirations, because why can't you talk about that with some friends? But it wasn't this thing where like every second we had to do something work related. It was natural. When we would talk about something for YouTube or our content or our life, it would be just a natural conversation, right? You would already be talking about something that would lead into that. So it would be this natural thing, not something to where like, oh my God, guys, give me 20 minutes. I have to like sign this person up. Oh guys, give me 1 hour. I have to do a live stream because I just have to. Like, no, we didn't do any of that stuff. It was something to where you could actually have fun. Yeah, there was going to be a little bit of work, aka we did Cece's video, but then after that, we didn't get on our phones. The next day, we took some photos. So Saturday, we actually did the same thing. And that day, they didn't take any photos, but I did. I went down to the beach and I got like some beach photos that I posted on Instagram. But again, it was 10 minutes and then Cece took a nap. But besides that, we spent hours at the pool. We went out to Cece's favorite dinner spot. And it was just something that you could see like, okay, that's an actual trip. Like that's a vacation. That's yes, you're going to get some work done, but you're actually able to go on this trip where you don't have to be on your phone 24/7. And I really feel like that trip made me realize like, oh my gosh, how much when I was on those other girl trips, because I've been on multiple trips for Beachbody, how much it wasn't really like a trip. It wasn't really this time to like go and have fun. It was fully encompassed by work. So all in all, when I do compare these two trips, it really shows me how life should be when you actually go on a trip, when you actually have vacation, slash, you know, getting some work done while you're there versus like what these Beachbody trips will look like. I have been on a couple other trips. If you guys want me to talk about those, I actually went on 2 retreats and stuff like that, which those were more like secluded events and stuff where you met up with like just a couple of girls. But even those trips, like we were on calls with, you know, the upline. We were on calls with another top leader from Beachbody. Like, yeah, we would have some time to like hang out, but besides that, we were like game planning how to post on social media and how to do this and that. So that shows me that all of these Beachbody trips just weren't vacation. And when they tell you that it is, most of the time it is not. It is not vacation. One thing I do want to say about the trip with the 2 other creators and stuff like that was it was actually really cool to be able to meet 2 people who on some level do the same thing as you, because I've never met people who film videos in a quiet room alone by themselves and stare at a camera all day, or script videos and do research and all of these other things. Like I've never been able to meet someone like that. So it was really cool to just meet someone who we do similar things and actually have genuine connections with individuals versus looking at people like a dollar sign. Oh, and one thing I do want to keep in mind is that because this could be another topic I could talk about, when content creators do go on these trips and stuff, sometimes there are trips with actual companies. For example, say that Ulta, the makeup brand, wanted to fly me out to New York to work with their brand, to get to know them a little bit more. You may on that trip have some time where you have to go to a meeting with them or, you know, make a post with them or do something like that. So those may be a little bit more like work oriented. But even with that, normally when you go on those trips, everything's paid for. So at least you don't have to pay for like your hotel and your flight and things to get there versus these MLM trips, you're paying for every single thing. And with these trips, you actually get to work with companies and make actual income. So keep that in mind. Creators working with companies may actually have a little bit more work, but it is going to be 99% all paid for. So yeah, all in all, I do not enjoy looking back on these Beachbody trips, because looking at how much I truly believed every single thing that they would tell me is insane. To now be out of that, mindset and looking back on things is so crazy to look at, and to see how far I've grown as a person and how much I've learned over the years about multi-level marketing and stuff like that. It's really insane to me to look back on these things. And yeah, some of it's a little bit embarrassing because it's like, oh my gosh, I really did believe everything that they said. But it's like it happens to a lot of people. people. A lot of people feel embarrassed after they leave MLMs. They look back on some things, and in my opinion, it is what it is. And I now, take the steps to hopefully help more people learn about these things and talk about it. And all in all, with the trip that I just went on, I freaking had the best time. I didn't have to recruit people. I didn't have to post if I didn't want to post. I didn't have to film if I didn't want to film. Everything was controlled by me because I am my own person that creates my own content. I don't rely on recruits under me to make money for me. There's no trying to convince people on social media that I'm living this lifestyle so that I can recruit them. There's no depending on a downline. Oh, it was great. It was a great freaking trip. And it was great, most importantly, to just not have to be on your phone 24/7. It was awesome. 90% of my trip, I wasn't on my phone unless I was taking like a 5-second clip of walking on the beach, but that was it. It was just awesome. But I do have other trips if you guys want me to share about them. This one will be the longest one I ever talk about though, because of how much detail there is. Other trips, there wouldn't be. It would be pretty short videos. I went on a total of 5 or 6 trips. I went to Tony Robbins, that like my upline paid for. I went on 2 retreats. I went on Beachbody's leadership retreat, which is cut off to certain people. I went on this trip. So if you guys want me to talk about more trips, I can. That's going to be all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed me talking a little bit about and exposing kind of like exactly what these Beachbody Summit trips are like, a backstage view of what they are, and then kind of talking a little bit more about what a content creator may do on their trip and kind of how it differs, because MLM reps always want to compare themselves to, the average content creator that you see, when nothing is comparable in my opinion. So don't forget to leave a like and a comment and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I upload on this channel 2 days a week, Monday and Friday, and on my vlog channel every single Wednesday if you want to check that channel out. And I will see you guys in the next video.